Okay, so Richard, today you're talking about decarbonisation and the challenges that your members are facing to get to net zero. Tell us a bit about their problems from your perspective.
Okay, well, it's broader than just our members as well, Rod. It's the whole industry and it's other key stakeholders. But specifically around our members, it's cost, it's a clear roadmap of transition from where we are today, and it's a problem around mindset. And I think there's a large, broad church of our membership, because there's lack of clarity about the roadmap and the direction of travel, that have a certainty to continue to invest in the industry and invest in the business, which is why we are asking for government to clarify against the laid out timelines exactly what options are available for interim fuels or for alternative fuels that can actually do the job that the Hawley requires today.
So what are your feelings about all those different types of options, electric, alternative fuels and so forth? Do you have a kind of vision of which is best?
I think it's fair to say that the industry has embraced the change, and if you look at electrification, if it's less than 18 tonne and it's on a radial delivery, our members and the broader industry are actually adapting that technology. But the problem being the infrastructure. So for example, some of our members have got one truck that's electric. They would like to have more than one truck, but they cannot have enough power going to site to charge more than the one truck they've got. So the infrastructure is a huge issue, and the cost of the vehicle as well. So an average truck to buy would be £120,000 today, and going forward, if it's electric, it's £300,000. It's just not sustainable for a low margin industry to actually move to, which is why we're asking for support from all the key stakeholders as well as government to help that transition.
You mentioned infrastructure there. That is a major headache. Is it possible for the industry to build that infrastructure, or does it need government intervention?
I think it needs both, Rod. I think it needs a direction from government, and then I think it needs investment from both government and the industry, because it's a huge investment. If we look at electrification, or we look at HVO, or if we look at hydrogen, when we're future-proofing new facilities and new roads and new truck stops, we need to consider what that is now, which is why we need clarity about the alternative fuel. It's not a problem for 10, 15, 20 years' time, it's today. And if we're going to build a new truck stop, which is desperately needed, is it going to be hydrogen-based? Is it going to be electric charging points? Those will have implications.
Do you think there are models on other countries that we in the UK should adapt, or do we need to just do our own thing?
Well, I think one thing we are doing as the RHA is that we're engaging with the IRU, and we're looking across the world to understand what works well in different countries and what their view of alternative fuels are. But we must remember that the UK is an island, and America and Germany, it's a different running time, it's a different infrastructure, it's a different type of haulage. We are quite specialised in some ways, and we are quite short distances with quick changeovers and the need to be able to recharge, refuel the vehicles in minutes, not in hours.
Good. I just want to ask you about the kindness campaign, which you're running at the moment. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the kindness campaign follows up from the petition we ran last year for drivers to sign up to explain to the government the issues around truck stops and the lack of truck stops. So currently across the UK at any one time there are 11,000 shortages for trucks to park in a safe, secure, well-maintained area so they can take their rest and they can have their break. So the kindness campaign is a positive campaign that is aimed at finding the best location in the UK to deliver to, voted for by the drivers, the transport planners and the transport managers. It's running for 12 weeks and there's a clear criteria. So has the area got good access, good egress? Has good facilities for rest, for refuelling, for food? Are the drivers allowed to use the toilets? Because in some locations, Rod, drivers are not allowed to even use the toilets of the facilities they are delivering to. And the whole idea of the kindness campaign is to positively demonstrate to the country the issues that we are facing, which ties into the driver shortage issue. Because attracting the next generation of drivers into this industry is difficult because of the impression that people have got of being a driver.
And if people want to vote on the kindness campaign, they go to your website?
If they go to the website and they can click on the link, or the QR code, or we are pushing out on our social media channels. And it's a very simple process, 5 questions, and they can win a holiday for £2,500.
Now, if I was able to grant you one wish, what would be your ideal wish for the RHA and for the industry?
Good question, Rod. It would be to help in the change over the next 25 years with genuine collaboration and stakeholder engagement. Genuinely share data freely, Because the RHA has got a very broad church of members, ranging from the PLCs all the way down to the less than 15 trucks. We've got to get to a position where we can engage openly and freely and share the issues. That way we can decide on what the alternative fuel is for the country. It might be one or two. We might still be using diesel in 30 years' time. And we can articulate the points back to the key stakeholders.
Great answer, yeah. Excellent.
Good question, Rob.
Great, thank you very much indeed, Richard. That's it.